The Missing Child. Hey, night listener. Tonight we enter the shadows. The city feels quieter tonight. The rain, cold and relentless, taps against the windows, creating a soft rhythm, like the heartbeat of the night itself. Dim streetlights flicker in the distance, casting long, thin shadows across the wet pavement. You step out into the night, the sound of your footsteps the only thing keeping you company. The street is empty, save for the occasional car passing by, its tires hissing through the water pooling at the edges of the road. If this story found you, maybe it's because you've been followed too. You've always been good at following others, at finding things that aren't supposed to be found. You've been a private investigator for years, finding the missing, uncovering secrets. But tonight, things are different. Tonight, you're not following the usual kind of case. The child is found, but as you stare at her, something changes within you. The relief you should feel doesn't come. Instead, a strange sense of unease crawls into your chest, squeezing the breath from your lungs. She's there, in front of you, safe and sound, but in her eyes, you see something that wasn't there before. It's not just fear, it's something deeper. You remember the day you were called in another missing child case. Another small face swallowed by the city's dark corners. The typical investigation, a few interviews, some surveillance, a lot of dead ends. But this one was different. The missing child had vanished without a trace. No witnesses, no leads, just an empty room. And then, miraculously, she was found. No ransom note, no reason, just the child. Returned. You blink, shaking yourself from your thoughts. The child stands in front of you, clutching a doll that seems far too old for her, its fabric worn, frayed, as though it had been with her for far longer than the days she'd been missing. You reach down, offering her a gentle smile, but when she meets your eyes, you realize she's staring at you in a way that feels too intense, too knowing. Something isn't right. You walk with her back to the precinct, keeping a close eye on her. And yet, the feeling in your gut doesn't go away. The child's gaze lingers, almost accusing, and it unnerves you. The emptiness in her eyes isn't just the absence of innocence, it's the absence of something else, something darker. You take her home, but as you do, your mind keeps spinning. What happened during those days she was missing? What was she really exposed to? And more importantly, why does she look at you like she knows something you don't? You can feel it in your bones. This case, this child, has more layers than you can see, more layers than you've been told. You just don't know it yet, but you're already tangled in a web you can't escape. So, before we vanish into this mystery, like the video and subscribe only if you can handle the truth buried beneath the lies. Now lock your doors, take a deep breath, and follow me into the dark. The moment of clarity. The child sits in front of you, her legs crossed beneath her, the doll held tightly in her arms. The room is quiet, except for the soft tick of the clock on the wall. You want to ask her questions, try to understand what happened in those days she was gone. But every time you try to speak, the words stick in your throat. There's something about her presence that's unsettling, like she's not really a child at all. The silence stretches between you both, heavy and thick, the tension palpable. You're not sure what you're expecting, maybe an outburst, maybe a scream, something to break the unease, but instead, the child just stares at you. You try to steady your breathing, but it's hard. It's been a long night, and you feel the weight of exhaustion creeping in. You look down at the child again, trying to find a hint of the normalcy you're used to seeing in the children you rescue. But there's nothing ordinary about her. Her eyes are too old, too knowing, You reach over to pour yourself a drink, just something to calm your nerves. But the glass trembles in your hand, the clink of the ice cubes louder than you expected. You sit back down, but the child's gaze doesn't waver. She's still looking at you like she's waiting for something. But what? Do you remember what happened? You ask, the words barely escaping your lips. It feels like an innocent enough question, but the moment you say it, you realize how wrong it sounds. This isn't a normal situation, and this isn't a normal child. She doesn't answer right away. Instead, her eyes flicker down to the doll, her fingers running over the frayed fabric. Then, in a voice so quiet you almost miss it, she speaks. They were there. You lean forward, your heart skipping a beat. Who? Her small hand lifts, pointing toward the corner of the room, where the shadows seem to shift and grow. You don't follow her gaze immediately. You know what it means. She's not talking about anyone in the room with you. She's talking about something else. Something else that's here. Who was there, you ask again, the urgency creeping into your voice. But the child just sits there, looking past you, as if she's seeing something you can't. The ones who made me, she says, her voice barely a whisper, barely audible over the hum of the air conditioner. Your mind races. Made me. What does that mean? She's too young for this, too innocent. But the look in her eyes tells you she knows far more than she should. You stand up, feeling the sweat on the back of your neck, the chill of the room suddenly oppressive. The air is thick now, filled with something that makes your skin crawl. You walk over to the window, glancing outside, half expecting someone or something to be watching you. But the street is empty, quiet. When you turn back, the child is still sitting there, the doll now in her lap. But something has changed. You can't quite put your finger on it. But she looks different, older somehow. Her eyes are no longer full of the fear of a missing child. They're full of knowledge. And that knowledge scares you. What do you mean? They made you, you ask, your voice tight. Who did this to you? Her lips curl into a small, unsettling smile, the kind of smile a child should never wear. You know, she replies softly, you were looking for me, but you weren't looking for the right thing. The words freeze you in place. The glass in your hand shakes as you lower it slowly. What does she mean by that? Was she not just a missing child? Was there something more to her disappearance? Something more to her presence now that she's been found? A shiver crawls up your spine, and your hands feel clammy. This case has stopped being just about a missing child. The moment you laid eyes on her, the moment she spoke, everything shifted. The child's voice breaks through your thoughts again. They told me you'd find me, she says, her voice barely a whisper. They said you'd be the one to find me, but I found you first. Your heart races, the words hanging in the air like poison, sinking into your chest with a weight that threatens to suffocate you. What if she wasn't just lost? What if she was always meant to be found by you? A cracked mirror. You feel the room spin around you, and for a moment, you have to steady yourself against the wall. Her words, her gaze, they burrow into your mind like a splinter you can't remove. You try to swallow, but your throat is tight, the breath in your chest coming in short, shallow bursts. You stare at the child, but you can't see her the way you did before. There's something darker in her eyes now, something that wasn't there when she first appeared. You've spent years tracking down missing people, children, mostly, and bringing them home. It's what you do. It's what you've always done. But this is different. There's no comfort here, no reassurance, just shadows. You run a hand through your hair, trying to clear your mind, but the weight of the child's words lingers. And the more you think about them, the worse they get. They told me you'd find me, but I found you first. What does she mean? Who are they? And why does it feel like you're being pulled into something much bigger than just this case? A sudden shift in the room, an unnatural stillness grips you, and you feel it in your bones. The air feels heavier now, as though something's closing in. You turn, almost instinctively, toward the cracked mirror hanging on the wall. It wasn't there when you first arrived, and yet it's there now, reflecting the dim light of the room in strange angles. The glass is chipped at the edges, jagged, the cracks running like veins through the center. You step toward it, almost drawn to it, and you stare at your reflection. But something isn't right. It's you, but not quite. The figure in the mirror stares back at you with a blank expression, but your eyes seem distant, hollow, even. You can't help but feel like something's off, like you're no longer sure who's standing there, staring back at you. The child's voice breaks through the silence, soft and eerie. You're not the one I'm waiting for. Your breath catches in your throat, and you turn toward her. She's watching you, but there's something strange in her eyes now. A look that says she knows more than you ever will. What do you mean by that, you ask? But your voice sounds too far away, distant. You weren't the first one, she answers, her words slow, deliberate. But you'll be the last. You stare at her, the chill crawling under your skin. The last of what you feel, the pressure building in your chest. And for a moment, the room seems to close in on you, the shadows stretching and shifting unnaturally. But before you can speak again, the mirror catches your eye once more, drawing you in. You can't pull yourself away from the reflection, the way the cracks run through the glass, like a line that divides the truth from the lie. You lean closer, the glass cool against your skin as you stare at your own eyes, trying to find something familiar. But all you see is emptiness, and then it hits you. You know what it is now. What's wrong? You're not just seeing yourself in the mirror. The figure in the glass is wearing your face, but it's not you. It's someone else, someone you can't place. What if you're looking at the person you've become? What if the reflection is someone else entirely, someone you've never wanted to see? Your heart races as you pull back from the mirror, stumbling away, your breath coming in gasps. The child's words echo in your mind. You'll be the last. The final piece of the puzzle is almost within reach, but the closer you get, the further the truth slips away. You try to shake it off, but the sense of unease lingers. The child watches you closely, her hands clutching the doll tighter. You don't know what it is, but you know she's the key to everything. Even if you can't see how yet, you need to know what she knows. But every step you take brings you deeper into the unknown. Tell me who they are, you say, your voice desperate now, breaking through the tension in the room. Tell me who's behind this. Tell me what you know. She doesn't respond immediately. Instead, she tilts her head slightly, her eyes fixed on you with an unsettling intensity. The silence stretches on, and you wonder if you'll ever get the answer you need. I can't tell you, she says finally, her voice low, almost a whisper. But you're going to find out. You have to. Your pulse quickens as you stare at her. What does she mean by that? What's she trying to tell you? And as you stare back at your own reflection, the truth starts to settle in. There's no going back now. You've crossed a line, and the shadows have already started to close in. What if the reflection in the mirror is the person you were always meant to become? The photograph. The room seems to spin around you, the dizziness settling into your bones like an anchor pulling you deeper. The child, still clutching her doll, sits motionless, watching you with that unsettling gaze. The cracked mirror lingers at the edges of your vision, its jagged edges sharp like a warning. You try to focus, try to keep your thoughts straight, but everything feels off, like the walls are closing in on you, distorting the world around you into something foreign and dangerous. You look down at your hands, still trembling slightly, and then back to the child. You want to scream, but the words won't come. You want answers, but every question only seems to lead you further into confusion. She knows something, something more than what she's told you, but she won't say it. The air between you thickens, and you feel trapped, stuck in a game where the rules don't make sense, where every move you make takes you further away from the truth. Please, you say, your voice shaking despite yourself. Tell me what happened. Who took you? Who made you disappear? The child doesn't respond right away, but when she finally speaks, her words cut through the tension like a knife. They don't want you to know. Your heart skips a beat. The chill in her voice sends a shiver crawling up your spine, and you take an involuntary step back. This isn't a normal child. This isn't the child you found missing. This is something else. What do you mean? Who doesn't want me to know? You press, your voice steadying despite the gnawing fear in your chest. Who are they? But the child only stares at you. She doesn't blink, doesn't even look away. There's something in her eyes, something old and knowing that sends another ripple of unease through you. And then, with a slow, deliberate motion, she lifts the doll from her lap and holds it out toward you. You hesitate for a moment before reaching for the doll. The instant your fingers touch its worn fabric, a shiver runs down your spine. There's a strange, almost magnetic energy to it, as though it's pulling you in, urging you to look closer. You take the doll in your hands, examining it closely. It's old, far older than it should be, and the fabric is worn thin. But there's something else, something hidden. A small piece of paper is tucked inside the doll's clothes, wedged deep into the stitching. You pull it out, the paper crinkling as it unfolds in your hands. The writing on it is barely legible, the ink faded and smudged. But the words are clear enough. The answer lies within, but only if you dare to look. Your blood runs cold as you read the message over and over, as if the words are taunting you, daring you to unravel their meaning. What does it mean? What is the answer? You glance at the child, and something clicks. She's been waiting for you to find this. She's been leading you here, leading you towards something. But what? A sudden realization hits you hard. The photograph. It's all connected. The missing child, the strange message, the doll, and now the photograph. You've been looking in all the wrong places, chasing the wrong clues, but the photograph is the key. You turn quickly, your hands shaking as you reach for your desk. The drawer creaks open as you pull out the photograph, the same one you've seen 100 times, the one you thought held the answers. But now, something is different. You look at the photo again, your heart racing. It's not the same photograph you remember. There, in the background, just behind the child you've been trying to save, there's someone else, a figure, a man. His face is partially obscured, but there's no mistaking it. You know him. You gasp, the photograph slipping from your fingers as you step back. It's him, the man standing behind the child. He's someone from your past, someone you never thought you'd see again, someone who disappeared long ago. But now, here he is, staring back at you through the glass of the photo. Your heart pounds in your chest as the weight of the truth sinks in. This wasn't just a case of a missing child. This was never about her. This was about something darker, something tied to your own past. You clutch the photograph in your hands, your mind racing as the pieces finally start to come together. The child was never meant to be found. She was the bait. You were the target. And the man in the photograph is the one who's been pulling the strings all along. But why? Why now? Why bring you into this? The question hangs in the air, unanswered. And as the room seems to close in on you, you realize there's no going back. The truth is right in front of you, but it's more terrifying than anything you could have imagined. You turn to face the child again, but she's no longer sitting where she was. The doll is gone. The room is empty. You feel your heart race, the panic clawing at your throat. You try to call out to her, but the words won't come. You turn toward the door, but before you can reach it, you hear the soft creak of footsteps behind you. You don't have to turn around to know who it is. What if you've been the one being hunted all along? The voice in her head. The air in the room grows colder, the shadows deeper. As you stand frozen in place, the footsteps grow louder, and yet you don't dare turn around. You feel them coming closer, their presence looming behind you, until you can practically feel their breath on the back of your neck. You don't turn to face them. You can't. Something in your gut tells you that if you do, you won't be able to control what happens next. Instead, you let the silence stretch, the tension hanging in the air like a tightly wound wire ready to snap. Your thoughts race, your mind scrambling to make sense of the chaos. The photograph, the child, the cryptic message in the doll, all of it is spiraling out of control. And then, a voice, not the child's, not your own. This voice is older, colder, more familiar than you'd like to admit. It echoes in your mind like a distant memory, a haunting whisper from a time you thought you'd buried long ago. You should have known. It says, you should have known it was always going to come back to this. You freeze, every muscle in your body tensing, your heart pounding in your chest. You know that voice. It's his, the man from the photograph, the one you thought you had escaped, the one who's been lurking at the edges of your life, waiting for the right moment to return. You feel the walls of the room closing in around you, the weight of the past bearing down on you like a mountain. You want to scream, but the words catch in your throat. The voice grows louder, closer now, until it's no longer a whisper in your mind. It's a reality. I told you, didn't I? The voice is low, almost soothing, like a serpent coiling around you, tightening its grip. I told you this was never going to end. You were always part of it. You always were. You want to shout at him, to demand answers, but the words don't come. The silence in the room feels suffocating, as if you're drowning in your own fear. And then, slowly, you feel it, the weight in your chest, the pressure building as you struggle to breathe. The room spins around you, the walls closing in. You've been hearing me all along, haven't you? He continues, his voice like ice scraping against bone. The whispers in your head. You think they're your thoughts, but they're mine. What is happening to me? The thought races through your mind, but before you can fully grasp it, you feel a sharp pain in your head. The world spins, and suddenly, your vision blurs. You reach out to steady yourself, but your hands feel cold, unresponsive. You blink, trying to clear the fog from your eyes, but when you open them again, everything is different. The room is darker now, the shadows creeping closer, and the child, she's not sitting in front of you anymore. She's standing in the doorway, her back to you, her silhouette framed by the dim light outside. But something is wrong. Her face, once pale and innocent, is twisted, distorted, like a reflection in a cracked mirror. Her eyes, those dark, knowing eyes, stare at you, unblinking, but there's something unnatural about them. She isn't just staring at you, She's staring through you, and the voice in your head, it's still there, just a whisper away. She's part of it. It says, a triumphant edge creeping into its tone. She's always been part of it. She's the one you need to find. You stumble backward, your heart racing as the panic rises in your chest. What does that mean? The child begins to turn, her head tilting to the side in a way that feels wrong, unnatural. And then she speaks. You shouldn't have come here, she says softly, her voice low and almost soothing, like a lullaby. But the words drip with something darker. You should have stayed away. The room starts to close in around you, the shadows growing longer, reaching toward you like they have a mind of their own. You can hear the whispers now, louder, more insistent. The voice isn't just in your head, it's everywhere. It's the air you breathe, the walls around you. What have I done? You want to run, but your legs feel heavy, sluggish. You try to speak, but no words come out. And then the child speaks again. You'll never leave. Not now. A flash of memory hits you like a lightning strike. A face you recognize. A place you never thought you'd see again. The darkness isn't just in this room. It's been following you your entire life. The pieces of the puzzle are finally starting to fit together, and you realize with a sickening certainty that you've been part of this from the start. You reach for your phone, but it's gone. The room is empty. The child is gone, and you're left standing there in the dark. And then you hear it, a door creaking open. The footsteps are back, but this time they're not just behind you. They're all around you. What if you've never really been alone? What if they've always been with you, waiting for the moment you'd find out the truth? A hidden room. The sound of footsteps grows louder, the rhythmic echo reverberating through the dimly lit room. But you can't move. You're frozen in place, your heart hammering in your chest, your body tingling with the cold sweat of panic. The whispers grow louder, more frantic now, swirling in your ears, each voice competing to be heard, each one laced with something darker. You try to shake them off, but they cling to you, wrapping around your mind like chains, squeezing tighter with every second. You should have stayed away. The words echo again, the child's voice colder than before. You're not sure when it happened, but somehow you find yourself standing at the edge of the room, your hands trembling as you reach for the doorknob. The darkness beyond it feels oppressive, suffocating, and you know, deep down, that it's not just the room that's closing in on you, it's your own mind. The moment you open the door, you feel it, the shift in the air, the sudden drop in temperature. The room beyond is dark, too dark to see clearly, and yet you know something's there, something waiting. You take a cautious step forward, your pulse pounding in your throat, and your eyes strain to make out the details. As your eyes adjust to the dark, you see it a door at the far end of the room, barely visible in the dim light. Without thinking, your feet carry you forward. The air in the room feels thick, almost viscous, and your steps echo loudly in the silence, as if the room is listening to your every move. You reach the door, your hand shaking as you touch the handle. For a moment, you hesitate. What's behind it? But you can't stop now. You have to know. You have to see what's waiting on the other side. The door creaks open, and as it does, you feel the coldness sweep over you, like an icy hand brushing against your skin. The room beyond is much smaller than the one you were just in, and the walls are lined with shelves, old books, newspapers, photographs, and things you can't even identify, piled haphazardly. But it's not the clutter that catches your attention. It's the faint glow of light coming from the far corner. A soft, flickering light, like a candle. You step closer, drawn to it, and as you approach, you notice something even more unsettling. There, in the corner of the room, sitting on a small wooden table, is a mirror, but not just any mirror. This one is framed in dark, polished wood, intricately carved, with symbols you don't recognize etched into the edges. You feel your heart skip a beat as you stare at it. The reflection is distorted, the image wavering like water rippling in a lake. You step closer, your breath shallow, and when you peer into it, the face that stares back at you isn't your own. It's the child. Her eyes are wide, filled with an unsettling darkness, and her smile is stretched too wide, too unnatural. The image in the mirror shifts, and for a moment, you think you see the reflection move like it's trying to reach out to you. You stumble back, your breath catching in your throat. The whispers in your mind grow louder, more insistent. She's always been with you. They chant, their voices a chorus of dread. You blink, and when you look back into the mirror, the reflection is gone. The child is no longer there, but something else is. The photograph, the same one from the desk, the one you saw earlier, the one you thought you'd lost. It's hanging in the frame now, clearly visible in the reflection, and you see something you didn't notice before. The face of the man, the one who has been pulling the strings all along. His face is clearer now, no longer just a shadow in the background. You gasp, your hand instinctively reaching out to touch the glass. But before you can, the door slams shut behind you. The sound echoes in the room, sharp and final. You spin around, but the room is empty again. Just the shelves and the piles of forgotten things. The air is thick with the smell of dust and something else, something metallic. Your hand shakes as you try to steady yourself. The realization hitting you like a tidal wave. The photograph, the child, the whispers, the mirror, they're all part of the same puzzle, and you've just uncovered the most dangerous piece. You move toward the door, but the moment your fingers touch the handle, a voice, cold and familiar, fills the room. You found it. You spin around, but no one is there. The voice comes from nowhere, yet it's everywhere, filling the space with an eerie certainty. You found the answer. The voice continues, but you're too late. The floor beneath your feet feels unstable, and you fight the urge to run. Every instinct tells you to leave, but the same pull, the same force that's brought you here keeps you rooted to the spot. The figure in the photograph, the voice in your head, the child who's not a child at all. The truth is out there, but you're not ready to face it. What if the room isn't the only thing that's hidden? The wrong address. The air in the room feels now thick, and the walls seem to close in around you as you stare at the door. The voice, the one that echoed in your mind, still lingers, its words hanging in the air like smoke. You're too late. You don't know what it means yet, but you feel it. A certainty. Something's shifting. Something's moving beneath the surface, and it's pulling you under. You grip the door handle tighter, the cold metal biting into your palm as you force yourself to turn it. The door creaks open, and the dim light of the hallway spills in. For a moment, you wonder if you're even in the same house anymore. Everything feels distorted. The shadows deeper, the silence heavier. You step out into the hallway, your feet dragging as you move toward the stairs. The echoes of your footsteps bounce off the walls, but the feeling of being followed, watched, still clings to you like a shadow. Your heart pounds in your chest, the blood rushing in your ears, drowning out the sound of everything else. You need to get out of this house. You need to find the answers. But you can't shake the feeling that the truth is just beyond your reach. You try to push it out of your mind, but it's impossible. You can't escape it. As you reach the bottom of the stairs, your gaze flickers to the front door, the one you thought you locked earlier. But now, it's slightly ajar. Not by much. Just enough for the light outside to bleed in, casting an unnatural glow across the hallway. You freeze, your body tensing with that familiar unease. It's been opened. Who opened it? The thought spirals through your mind, and you feel a chill crawl up your spine. You don't want to check, but you can't ignore it. Your feet move of their own accord, taking you toward the door. Your hand reaches out, but before you can touch the knob, the sound of a car engine, distant but unmistakable, breaks through the silence. The familiar rumble, the low hum. You freeze. The voice from earlier echoes again, louder this time. You found it, but you're too late. Your heart skips a beat as the sound of tires on wet pavement approaches. You glance through the door, your eyes scanning the street outside, and that's when you see it, the car, the same one that had been following you, the one you thought was just a shadow of your paranoia. But it's not. It's real. The car slows to a stop right outside, its headlights blinding for a split second before it shifts into park. You can't make out the driver's face, but you don't need to. You already know who it is, the figure in the photograph, the one you've been chasing, the one you've been hunting. They're here. You don't have time to think. You can't. The air is thick with urgency, your every instinct screaming at you to run, to get out of there before it's too late. But your legs feel frozen in place. You stone there, your breath shallow, as the car door opens, the sound too loud in the quiet night. A figure steps out, tall, familiar, but now their features are too blurry to make out. They're wearing a long coat, their face obscured by a dark hat. But you don't need to see their face to know who it is. It's the same man from the photograph, the one who's been pulling the strings, the one who's been haunting you since the very beginning. You can't breathe. The man takes a step toward the house, and something inside you snaps. You need to act. You don't know why, but you do. It's like an instinct, a pull that won't let you back down. You need to confront him, need to know the truth. You force yourself to move, stumbling toward the door, your fingers trembling as you reach for the handle. The man is getting closer, his footsteps steady, his presence filling the space around you like a dark fog. Before you can open the door, a hand lands heavily on your shoulder. You spin around, your heart leaping into your throat. And there, standing behind you, is your partner. His face is grim, his eyes cold, like he's seen the worst of what you've been running from. "Don't open the door," he says, his voice low, firm. You don't know who's waiting for you on the other side. You stare at him, unable to speak for a moment. There's something different in his eyes, something that wasn't there before. A shadow. "Why do you know?" you whisper, your voice shaking. "What do you know about this?" He steps back, his expression unreadable, but the tension in his face betrays him. "I'm not who you think I am. I never was." The words hit you like a punch. You don't know if you can believe him. You don't know if you can trust anyone anymore. The man outside is still coming, getting closer. You feel the weight of the decision bearing down on you. You can't just stand here. You have to know what's behind that door. You have to face the truth, no matter how dangerous it might be. Your partner steps forward, placing himself between you and the door. You're not ready for this. You don't know what you're getting into, but you can't back down now. Not when the pieces are almost in place. Not when you're this close to unraveling everything. You move past him, your hand reaching for the door once again. The man is almost here, and you're about to find out who's been playing you this whole time. The woman who knows too much. The door opens with a soft creak, and the cold night air rushes into the room, wrapping around you like a tightening noose. You step over the threshold, your breath shaky as you brace yourself for what's about to come. The man outside, he's getting closer. You can hear his footsteps now, crunching against the gravel as he approaches. The sound is so much louder than it should be, but the world feels unnaturally still, like time itself is holding its breath. You turn to look at your partner, but he doesn't move. His face is hard, unreadable, and you wonder if he's finally realized that you won't back down, that you're too far gone to listen now. "Stay inside," he says, his voice firm. "I mean it, but you're already past him, your heart pounding in your chest. You're done waiting, done playing by someone else's rules." With one last glance toward your partner, you step into the cold night, the wet ground beneath your feet slick and unstable. The man is almost at the gate now, his figure more solid as he steps into the faint glow of the street lamp. He's tall, dressed in dark clothes, his face obscured by a shadow from his hat. But you don't need to see his face to know who he is. It's the same man from the photograph. You move forward, the breath freezing in your lungs as you draw closer to him. But as you do, something inside you snaps. This isn't just a confrontation anymore. This isn't just about the missing child. This is about something far darker, something that's been pulling the strings behind everything, and you've been blind to it. He stops just a few feet from you, his eyes flickering in the dim light. There's no warmth there, just cold calculation, and yet there's something almost familiar in his stance, in the way he holds himself. "I knew you'd come," he says, his voice calm and steady, as though he's been waiting for this moment all along. You don't answer, just stare at him, your mind racing as everything you thought you knew collapses around you. "You should have stayed away," he continues, almost like he's pitying you. "It wasn't supposed to be like this, but you walked right into it. You take a step forward, your fists clenched. What are you talking about, you demand? What is this? Who are you?" The man tilts his head slightly, as if considering your question, and for a brief moment, something flickers in his eyes. It's almost like a shadow of recognition, like he knows you, like he's been watching you longer than you realize. "Who I am doesn't matter," he replies coldly. "What matters is that you're here. You've found the truth, but the truth doesn't belong to you." The words land like a slap, and you step back instinctively, but your feet are rooted to the ground. "You've been behind all of this, haven't you?" you whisper, more to yourself than to him. "The missing child, the messages, the photograph." He nods slowly, his expression unchanged. "Yes, I've been behind it all. But you're not the first to get this far. You won't be the last." The air around you feels charged, like the tension is about to snap. You want to scream at him, to demand he tell you everything, but you know deep down, you already know. "You've been using me," you say quietly, your voice filled with disbelief. "This whole time, I've been part of your game." "Not a game," he corrects you, his eyes narrowing. "A plan, a necessary plan." The words hit you hard, but before you can process them, you hear something, a rustling in the trees behind you, faint at first, but growing louder. You turn, but there's nothing there. The night air is still, save for the unsettling sound of the leaves shifting in the wind. "Don't turn your back," the man warns, his voice dark. They're always watching. You whip your head back toward him, your mind spinning. They, who are they? But the man just smirks, a cruel smile playing on his lips. You'll find out soon enough, but not yet. You're not ready. The chill in his voice sends a wave of dread crashing through you. Before you can respond, a soft voice calls from behind you, faint but unmistakable. Stop! You freeze. The child. She's standing just at the edge of the shadows, her small form barely visible in the dim light. But there's something in her eyes now. Something different. Something cold. She's the one, the man says, his tone almost reverent. You've been looking for answers, but they were right in front of you all along. The child's eyes meet yours, and the connection feels undeniable. But then, just as quickly, she turns and disappears into the dark. You take a step forward, but something holds you back. Your body refuses to move. The man watches you, his face impassive. You'll never catch her, he says, his voice almost detached. You can't save her. Not anymore. She's already gone. But you don't listen to him. You can't. Every fiber of your being is telling you to follow her, to run after her. Because now, more than ever, you know this isn't just a case. This isn't just a missing child. This is about something you can never take back. What if the truth is too dangerous to find the letter she never sent you? Stand in the cold night, your breath visible in the air, the echo of the child's voice still lingering in your mind. The man's cryptic words hang in the air like poison, suffocating you, pulling you deeper into the mystery. You've been so sure of your path, so certain you were just following the usual signs. But now, the whole world feels off, out of alignment. Every instinct in your body screams that you've stepped into something far darker than you can comprehend. Something that's been waiting for you all along. The man, the figure from the photograph, the one who's been pulling the strings behind all of this, watches you with an eerie stillness. His expression is hard, almost as if he's watching you unravel in real time, enjoying every moment of it. But as he takes a step back, the chill of the night grows heavier. The child is gone, and for a moment, you wonder if she was ever really there at all. Was she a figment of your imagination, a mirage planted in your mind? You shake your head, trying to focus. You can't afford to lose track now. But there's one thing gnawing at you: the photograph, the child, the words she spoke. They all tie back to something buried deep in your past, something you haven't thought about in years. A letter. You don't know why, but the thought of it hits you like a ton of bricks. You've seen that letter before. You're sure of it. The one you never sent. The one that was never delivered. The one with your name on it. The words scribbled in a hurry. In panic, your hands tremble as you reach for your jacket, your mind racing with fragments of memories you don't fully understand. You've buried it all, tucked it away deep in the corners of your mind, locked up tight. But the moment the man mentioned her, the moment he said she was the key, something clicked inside you. You've been running from the truth for too long. You step toward your car, the night air thickening as you make your way to the trunk. The letter isn't far, just tucked beneath some old files, some forgotten remnants of your past that you've kept hidden for years. You've been avoiding it. But now, it's like the letter is calling to you, like it's the last piece of the puzzle you've been blind to. You open the trunk, the cool metal clicking as it lifts. Your fingers shake as you sift through the old papers, until you feel the familiar envelope. You pull it out, and for a brief moment, you just hold it, staring at the faded ink on the front. Your name. You're not ready for what's inside, but you open it anyway. The words are just as you remembered, frantic, rushed, written in the middle of something you can't forget. I don't know what's happening. They're watching me. They're watching us. They're coming for us. And I'm not sure we'll make it out alive. The child. I'm not sure who they are anymore. I don't know who they're protecting. But I do know this, they'll never let me leave. They're keeping us here. Keeping us tied to this place. We're trapped. The letter ends abruptly. The ink smudged with what you suspect is blood. Your hands go cold as you clutch the paper. The words cutting through you like glass. This wasn't just a letter. It was a warning. A desperate plea from someone who was too far gone to save. You dropped the letter, your stomach twisting in knots. This was the truth, the real truth. It wasn't about the missing child. It was never about her. It was about the system, the network that had trapped you, that had trapped all of them. And now, it's trapped you again. You try to steady your breathing, but the panic is already starting to rise, filling your chest, suffocating you. You look around, but the night feels darker now, the shadows stretching long and far. The world feels empty, like it's closing in on you. You've been running all this time, thinking you could escape it. But it's here now. It's always been here. The voice in your head is back. Its words sharp, cold. They're watching you. The words echo, not just in your mind, but in the space around you, as though the very air is speaking to you, taunting you with what you can't see. The footsteps from before are back too, drawing closer. But this time, you don't have the luxury of looking behind you. The truth is here. The letter has shown you that much, but it's not the truth you expected. And it's worse than you could ever imagine. You stumble backward, your heart racing as you turn to face the street. But before you can make a move, something cold and hard presses against the back of your neck. A whisper brushes your ear. Too close, too intimate. You're not the one in control anymore. You freeze, your entire body stiffening as the world around you falls silent. Your breath catches in your throat as you turn slowly, your eyes locking with the face of the one who's been following you, the man from the photograph, the one who's been pulling the strings. But now, you see him clearly for the first time, and the truth hits you harder than anything else has before. He's been you all along, an old friend. The world tilts on its axis, spinning faster than you can catch up. And for a moment, your mind refuses to process the reality of what you've just realized. The man standing in front of you, the one who's been following you, watching you, orchestrating this entire nightmare, isn't just some stranger. He's you. You feel the ground shift beneath your feet, your legs going weak, and for a split second, you think you might collapse. The blood drains from your face as you stare at him, unable to speak, unable to move. He's wearing your face, standing before you as though he belongs in your skin, and everything you thought you knew about yourself, about this case, crumbles away. No, you say, your voice a whisper, barely audible. No, you can't be. You've been running from the truth, he interrupts. His voice smooth, cold, and now you've found it. You try to step back, but your legs refuse to move. There's nowhere to go. You've backed yourself into a corner, and now this thing is in front of you, claiming to be you, claiming to know you better than you know yourself. The silence stretches on, the weight of his presence suffocating, and for the first time in your life, you're completely powerless. You've been the one solving cases for years, bringing justice to the innocent, uncovering the truth hidden in the shadows. But now, you feel like the victim. The truth is staring you in the face, and it's a truth you can't escape. I didn't ask for this. You finally managed to say, the words escaping your lips as though they belong to someone else. I didn't ask for any of this. He steps forward, his gaze fixed on you, unwavering. The air between you is thick, heavy, charged with an energy you can't name. You never had a choice, he says, his tone flat, as though he's stating a simple fact. This was always part of the plan, and you were always going to find out. The ground beneath you feels unsteady, as though everything is shifting, like the very world you know is beginning to unravel. You want to run, to scream, to tear this place apart, to find out what's happening, but you're rooted to the spot, unable to take another step. You've been chasing shadows, the man continues, his voice soft, almost sympathetic, trying to solve a puzzle that was never meant to be solved. And now you're here, trapped in your own reflection. The words are like daggers, cutting deep into your mind, and the truth begins to sink in slowly, like poison in your veins. The pieces are starting to fit together, but they don't make sense. None of this makes sense. You think you're the one in control, he asks, his lips curling into something that almost looks like a smile. You were never in control. None of you were. This game was never for you to win. You shake your head, trying to fight the confusion that's creeping in, but it's no use. The longer you stand here, staring at this twisted reflection of yourself, the more the world around you seems to shift. The room feels colder, the shadows deeper, as though the very fabric of reality is stretching and warping before your eyes. How long, you whisper, your voice barely audible. How long have you been watching me? He doesn't answer right away. Instead, he steps closer, his presence overwhelming. His eyes are cold, calculating, and for the first time in your life, you feel completely exposed. Like every secret you've ever kept, every thought you've ever had, has been laid bare before him. Long enough, he replies simply. Long enough to know you better than you know yourself. Long enough to see your every move before you even make it. You swallow, your mouth dry, and take a step back. But it's futile. You can't escape this. You can't escape him. The man watches you with detached curiosity, as though he's seeing something you can't, something you've missed all along. You're part of this. You always have been. You just don't remember. You don't know who you really are. But you will. A shiver runs down your spine as the weight of his words presses down on you. What are you talking about, you ask? Your voice trembling. What do you mean? I don't remember. Who am I? He leans in closer, his voice soft now, almost a whisper. You were always meant to be here. Everything, every step you've taken has led you to this moment. It's time you remember who you really are. But before you can ask another question, the world around you shifts again. The ground beneath you seems to tremble, and the air grows even colder. Your body stiffens, and the realization crashes over you like a wave. You've been here before. This isn't the first time you've faced this. You've lived through this moment before, but you can't remember when. You can't remember how. You close your eyes, trying to block out the rising panic, but it's useless. Every instinct tells you to run, to get away, but there's nowhere to go, no way out. And as the man in front of you steps closer, his hand outstretched, you feel the cold, familiar weight of your own reflection pulling you under. What if the truth you've been chasing is not just about them? What if the truth is about you? The lie, she told. The air grows thick as you face the man standing before you. His word is echoing in your mind, pulling you deeper into a truth that feels more like a nightmare. You try to steady your breath, to grasp the reality around you, but it's slipping away. The more you try to understand, the more the world seems to bend, shift, and stretch until it's unrecognizable. Your hands shake, the weight of the photograph still pressing against your memory, the child, the letter, the photograph, it all loops around in your mind, intertwining with the present, with the past, until you can no longer tell where one ends and the other begins. I'm not who you think I am, he says again, his voice cold, as if trying to convince you, or perhaps himself. You were never meant to find out. You don't know who he is anymore. The man in front of you, the one wearing your face, isn't the person you thought you were hunting. He's something else, something twisted and warped by the very darkness you've been chasing. But you can't help but ask, why me? Why were you drawn into this? Why are you still standing here? You open your mouth to speak, to demand answers, but the words get stuck in your throat. You've never felt so lost, so out of control. Who am I? The man steps closer, but this time, you don't flinch. You can't. You have nothing left to protect yourself with. No more defenses. All you have are the pieces of a puzzle you can't finish. A truth that you may never fully understand. I've been watching you, he says, his voice low, almost tender. From the moment you stepped into this life, from the moment you picked up your first case, you were always going to find this, always going to uncover the truth, but not the way you think. He's speaking like he knows you. But how? How could he possibly know everything about you when you've never met him until tonight? The panic rises again, tight and raw in your chest, but you force yourself to push it down. You need to focus. You need to understand. You've been lying to me, you say, your voice shaky, but there's a cold edge to it now, something sharper, something that wasn't there before. Everything you told me, everything you made me believe, it was all a lie. He doesn't react immediately. He just watches you, his eyes dark and cold, like he's waiting for you to make the next move, like he's already 2 steps ahead of you. You think everything is a lie, he says quietly, almost regretfully, but you've been lying to yourself longer than I ever could. His words pierce through you like a knife. The blood drains from your face, and you take an instinctive step back. The truth is out of reach, slipping away every time you think you understand. But the more you listen, the more his words stir something deep within you, a buried truth, something you've kept hidden even from yourself. You've been lying to yourself. The words feel foreign, like they don't belong to you. What lie? What has he been talking about this whole time? Before you can ask, he steps even closer. His presence overwhelms you. He's too close now. The smell of him, the weight of his gaze, fills the space around you. You were supposed to protect her, he says, his voice quieter now, like he's speaking to you, but also through you, as if he's already watching what's to come. But you never did. You couldn't. And now you're here, staring at the wreckage of your own mind, your own life, and you still can't see the truth. A sudden pain flashes behind your eyes, a sharp, searing ache. It's like something is breaking inside of you, something deep and buried, but it's been there all along. The pieces fall into place too quickly, too fast, and when they do, it's worse than you could have ever imagined. The child, the photograph, the letter, the man who's been chasing you. You were never meant to save her. You were meant to find her, to find the truth. But the truth isn't what you thought it was. The child, the one you believed to be the key, was never the key. You knew, he says softly, almost sympathetically, but you pretended you didn't. The realization hits you like a slap to the face. The child, the man in the photograph, the voices in your head, they weren't the puzzle. You were the puzzle. You were the one they've been manipulating all along, playing you like a marionette. No, you whisper. your voice barely audible. This isn't true. It can't be true, but it is, and you know it. The moment you step away, the moment you let go of the lie, everything will fall apart. The child, the photograph, the man in front of you. It was never about them. It was always about you. Why me, you ask? Your voice hollow, trembling with the weight of everything you've just learned. Why me? The man smiles, but it's a cruel smile. A smile full of regret and finality. Because you were the one who was always supposed to find the truth, he says. And now that you have, there's no going back. What if the only thing that's been real is the lie you told yourself? A shifting reality. The words still hang in the air, a weight pressing down on your chest, suffocating you with their finality. There's no going back. Those words echo in your mind, reverberating through the empty space around you. Everything you thought you understood, everything you thought you knew, is crumbling around you. The child, the man in the photograph, the voices that whispered in your mind, they've all been pieces of a much larger puzzle. A puzzle you were never meant to solve. And yet, here you are. You try to steady your breath, but the air in the room feels thick, oppressive. The walls seem to be closing in on you, and your pulse quickens as the dizziness starts to take hold again. Your mind is racing, the chaos swirling around you in an unrelenting tide, threatening to pull you under. You take a step back, but your legs feel weak, like they are made of stone. You don't trust your body anymore. Don't trust the world around you. Everything feels wrong. The room, the house, it all feels different. Like the very foundation beneath you is shifting, changing, becoming something unrecognizable. Please, you breathe, almost begging. Tell me what's happening. Tell me what's real. The man's eyes darken, and he steps forward, his presence overwhelming. His gaze pierces through you, and you feel a chill run down your spine. What's real? He repeats, his voice soft, almost amused. You've been chasing reality your whole life, but you've never understood what it means. Reality is malleable. It shifts. It bends. You're not the one in control of it. The words hit you like a physical blow, a brutal truth that shakes you to your core. You've spent so much of your life trying to find answers, trying to make sense of the world, but all along, you were never meant to understand. You were never meant to see the truth. You were just a piece of the puzzle. And now that you've found it, the game has changed. The room starts to distort around you, the edges of reality blurring and fading, like a dream slipping through your fingers. You blink, but it doesn't help. The walls seem to bend inward, the space around you shifting in unnatural ways, and you can't tell if it's the house, your mind, or both that are warping. You close your eyes, trying to steady yourself, but when you open them again, the man is gone. The room is empty. What's happening? You stagger backward, your chest tight, the air thick with an unsettling silence. You reach for the door, your fingers trembling as you try to open it, but it won't budge. It's locked. You can feel it. Something's wrong. Something's blocking you from leaving. You press your hand against the door, your palm flat against the wood, and for a brief moment, you wonder if you've crossed into a different reality altogether. A reality where nothing makes sense, where you've lost your grip on what's real. But you can't give in. You can't let go of yourself. You have to find the truth. The voice returns, just a whisper at first, but then it grows louder. It's inside your head now, seeping through your thoughts like poison. You're trapped in your own mind. You've always been trapped, the voice murmurs, its tone cold and knowing. This is where you belong. This is the price of knowing the truth. You shake your head violently, trying to block out the voice, but it only grows louder. The whispers turn into a roar, filling your ears, drowning you in their weight. The room begins to spin again, the shadows crawling across the walls, warping into figures that don't belong. You try to scream, but no sound comes out. You can feel the panic rising, clawing at your throat. The room is spinning, the world is tilting, and everything you've known is slipping away, piece by piece. Is this how it ends? You fall to your knees, clutching your head in your hands, but the pressure is unrelenting. Your thoughts are a jumble of fragments, the truth and the lies intermingling until you can't tell which is which. And then, suddenly, everything stops. The room is still. The silence is deafening. You open your eyes, your breath shallow, and find yourself standing in the same place you were before. The door is no longer locked. The house is calm. But something's changed. Something feels different. You turn around slowly, your heart racing, and when you do, you find yourself face to face with the child again. Her eyes are wide, almost hollow now, as if she's seen everything, as if she's lived through everything you've been running from. You don't know the truth, she says, her voice softer than it's ever been, almost gentle. But you will? Her words hang in the air like an omen, and as you reach out for her, you know that there's no escaping the truth anymore. It's all around you. You're tangled in it, suffocating in it, and now there's no way out. What if the truth has always been here? The return of the child. The air is still as you stand there, staring at the child. She doesn't move, doesn't blink, her eyes fixed on you with an unsettling intensity that makes your skin crawl. There's something about her now, something different. She's no longer the scared, confused child you thought you rescued. She's something else entirely, something older and more knowing, something that shouldn't be possible. The room feels colder, and the shadows seem to stretch and shift, pulling away from the corners, moving toward you like they've come alive. You feel the weight of them pressing down on you, the heaviness of their presence choking you, suffocating you. You can't breathe. You can't think. You found me, she whispers, her voice barely audible, as if the words themselves are too heavy to speak. But you didn't find what you were looking for. Her words hit you harder than you expect. You're standing there, frozen, every muscle in your body tensing as the realization sets in. You thought you were saving her, thought you were the one leading the charge, but now you realize the truth. You've been playing into someone else's hands this whole time. You weren't the rescuer. You were the pawn. You were never meant to find me, she continues, her voice more chilling with each word. They never wanted you to know the truth. They just needed you to get close enough. The weight of her words crushes you, and you stagger back, your knees giving way as the room spins around you. This isn't a rescue. This isn't a case anymore. This is something far darker than you ever imagined. You want to scream, to demand answers, but your voice is caught in your throat, and the panic that's been simmering beneath the surface erupts into something more primal, more desperate. Who are they you manage to choke out? The question coming out more like a plea than a demand. Who's behind all of this? But the child just stands there, silent, her eyes dark and empty, as though she's waiting for you to understand on your own. The air around you crackles, the tension thick enough to feel in your bones. She takes a step forward, and you instinctively take a step back. There's nowhere to go. The room is closing in on you, the walls bending and shifting like they're alive. You can't escape. Not from her, not from this. They've been watching you, she whispers, and her voice echoes, the sound of it reverberating through the room like a warning. They know you're close, but they won't let you escape. Not now. You feel the temperature drop suddenly, the cold seeping into your skin, into your bones, and the world around you grows darker. The shadows are moving closer now, reaching toward you, like they have a mind of their own. You've been a part of this all along, the child says, her voice low, almost sympathetic, as if she's pitying you. But you didn't know. You never knew what you were really looking for. And then, just like that, she disappears. The silence is deafening as you stand there, in the center of the room, your mind reeling, struggling to comprehend what just happened. The child is gone, vanished without a trace, leaving you standing alone in the dark. You look around, your heart racing in your chest, but there's nothing. The shadows retreat, the air thickening, as though the entire house is holding its breath. You reach out, trying to steady yourself, but the room feels like it's spinning. You're not sure what's real anymore. You're not sure if anything ever was. But one thing is certain. You're no longer in control. You never were. You stumble back, your eyes scanning the room for any sign of her, for any sign of what's really happening. But there's nothing. The house is silent again, its eerie calm settling over you like a suffocating blanket. The feeling of being watched is stronger now, like eyes are on you from every corner, from every shadow. You turn to leave, but just as you reach the door, the voice returns. You'll never leave, it whispers, its tone cold and empty. You're already a part of this, and now there's no way out. The door won't open. It's locked, as though something or someone doesn't want you to leave. You feel the panic rising again, threatening to take over, but you fight it down, focusing on the only thing that matters now, finding the truth. But the truth isn't just out there, it's inside of you. The realization hits you like a ton of bricks. You've been looking for answers everywhere, but the answers were always within your grasp. You just couldn't see them until now. You turn back, your eyes searching the room one last time. And there it is, the mirror, the reflection of yourself, standing in front of the same door you tried to leave through. But this time, something's different. The face in the reflection isn't yours, it's the child. You're not sure if you're awake or dreaming anymore. The lines are blurring, the reality shifting, and all you can do is stare at the reflection, unable to move, unable to look away. What if the truth has always been here, waiting for you to see it? A thread of guilt. The reflection in the mirror shifts, and for a moment, you wonder if you're seeing things. The child's face stares back at you, her wide dark eyes unblinking, unfeeling. But as you stare deeper, you realize something is wrong. Something's missing. The image of the child blurs, and in its place, your own face appears. But it's different. Somehow, it's not just your face. It's too familiar. You step back, but your reflection doesn't move. You blink, and the reflection doesn't change. It's me, you think, but it's not. There's something wrong with you. Your reflection isn't yours anymore. It's been changed. And deep down, you know it's been changed by more than just the child. The room seems to darken as you take another step back, the cold creeping into your bones, sinking deep into your skin. The guilt tightens around your chest like a vice. You turn away from the mirror, but the image stays in your mind, refusing to let go. You try to shake it, try to push it out, but the guilt gnaws at you. What if everything you've done has led you here? What if the real culprit has always been you? You've been searching for the child, trying to uncover the truth. But now, the more you dig, the more you feel the weight of your own actions pressing down on you. You're no longer sure who's to blame. The footsteps behind you are louder now, closer, but you can't turn around. You can't face what you know is coming. The walls around you close in, and your breath catches in your throat as the voice returns, low and mocking. You thought you were the one saving her. It whispers, curling around you like smoke. But you were never the hero. You were never meant to be. The voice comes from all around you, filling the room, seeping into your mind, drowning out your thoughts. You try to fight it, try to push the guilt aside, but it's there, relentless. And you know it's true. The child was never the one who needed saving. You were. Why you whisper, your voice barely audible? Why did you choose me? A cold laugh echoes from behind you, and you can feel the weight of the presence drawing closer. You chose yourself, the voice replies. You always have. It's a bitter truth, and the realization cuts through you like glass. You've been running from yourself, from the parts of you that you've buried deep. But now, they're all coming to the surface. The footsteps behind you stop. The silence is suffocating. You know they're there, watching you, waiting for you to make the next move. You're not the victim. The voice continues, softer now, like a whisper in your ear. You're the perpetrator. You've always been the one pulling the strings. You spin around, but there's no one there. The room is empty again, except for the photograph. It's back. The same photograph that's haunted you from the very beginning. The one with the man in the background. The one you thought was just a fragment of your imagination. But now, it's right there, resting on the table in front of you, as if it's always belonged to this room. Your heart skips a beat as you approach it, your hand trembling as you reach for the photo. You pick it up, your fingers brushing over the faded edges, and you realize with a sickening jolt that it's not the same photograph you remember. There's a new detail, a new layer of information you didn't see before. The child in the photo, she's smiling, but it's not just a smile. It's the smile of someone who's been involved, someone who knows exactly what's happening, someone who has been complicit all along. No, this can't be right. This can't be real. But as you stare at the photo, the truth hits you with the force of a truck. The child wasn't the victim. She wasn't the one who needed saving. She was the one who brought you here. She knew all along. You drop the photograph, but it doesn't fall. It hovers just above the table, suspended in mid-air, as if the very reality around you has started to bend. The room flickers like a faulty light, and everything you know starts to unravel. The walls close in on you, and the darkness presses against your skin like a suffocating weight. The truth is unbearable. You thought you were the one uncovering the secrets, but in reality, you were just part of the story. And now, the story has caught up with you. What if the real monster was you all along? The dark corridor. The photograph falls to the ground with a soft thud, but the room doesn't feel quiet anymore. The shadows in the corners seem to stretch toward you, hungry and unrelenting. Your body trembles as the realization settles deep into your bones. You've been the one orchestrating this all along. You stare at the photograph, your heart racing as you try to reconcile the image in front of you with everything you've believed. The child's smile, so innocent, yet so knowing. The man's figure, obscured in the background, but still watching, still waiting. It wasn't just a photograph. It was a clue, a marker, a map leading you to this moment. And you can't escape it now. The air feels too thick to breathe, too heavy to think. You try to steady yourself, to make sense of it all. But every part of you feels detached, as though you're watching yourself unravel from the outside. You've always known the truth. The voice inside your head murmurs, cold and mocking. You've always been part of this twisted game. You look up, but the room has changed. The walls, once familiar, now loom over you, their edges softening and blurring. The dim light casts long shadows across the floor, making it seem like the room is stretching, expanding into something else, something darker, and then you see it. A door, hidden behind a bookshelf. You don't remember it being there before. The shadows seem to move around it, drawing you toward it, pulling you in like a current. It feels like the last step, the final chapter of a story you've been writing without even knowing it. Your body moves of its own accord, your feet dragging you toward the door. The closer you get, the more the walls seem to bend and twist, like the house itself is shifting, adapting to your movements. The door looms ahead, its wood warped and aged, the brass handle cold to the touch. You hesitate before reaching for it. The moment your fingers brush the handle, a gust of wind blows through the room, making the shadows seem to dance. The room feels alive now, suffocating, like it's watching you, waiting. You turn the handle, the door creaks open, and you step into a long, narrow corridor. The walls are lined with faded photographs, and the air smells musty, like the remnants of something long forgotten. The floor beneath you creaks with every step, and the further you walk, the heavier the air becomes. You stop, and for the first time, you feel like you're not alone. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up as the weight of the space around you settles in. You've been here before. You realize the corridor, the photographs, the smell, they're all familiar, like a place buried and deep in your past, a place you thought you'd forgotten, but you haven't forgotten. This is where it all began. The photographs on the walls seem to watch you as you walk past them. Faces blur and shift, never quite clear, never quite real. You see snippets of your own past reflected in them, moments you thought were long buried, faces of people you've known, people you've loved. You don't know how long you've been walking, but you stop in front of a door at the end of the corridor. It's larger than the others, framed in the same dark wood, its surface polished and untouched by time. It feels wrong. It feels like the door was meant for you. You reach for the handle. The moment your hand touches it, the door creaks open by itself, the darkness beyond it inviting you in, swallowing everything in its wake. You step inside, your heart racing in your chest as the door slams shut behind you. The room is pitch black, and for a moment, you think you've lost your way. But then, a soft light flickers on, casting a pale glow across the room. It's a small space, no larger than a closet, but it feels like it's expanding with every breath you take. The light flickers again, and you see it. The photograph, the same one from before, the one with the man in the background. But now, it's different. This time, you're in the photo. You gasp, stepping forward, your eyes wide with shock. The photo, once just a clue, now shows you standing in the background, a mere shadow in the frame. But the figure in the foreground is no longer the child. It's you. You can't breathe as the weight of the image hits you. The truth, the one you've been chasing, has always been this: the child, the man in the photograph, the whispers in your head. They were never the puzzle pieces. You were. You step back, but the room seems to close in on you, the walls pressing against you as the reality shifts again, bending to something darker. The door behind you has disappeared, leaving only the image of yourself, staring back at you from the photograph. The room is silent now, save for the sound of your own breath. You've been here before. You've always been here. The shadows that have followed you all this time are not just in the room with you, they are you. And the child, she's always been a reflection of your own guilt, a mirror showing you the pieces of yourself that you've tried to run from. What if there's no way out? What if you've always been trapped here? The voice becomes real. The room feels like it's closing in on you, the walls tightening, the shadows thickening, and your heartbeat echoes too loudly in the silence. The photograph, the one with you, standing in the background, watching yourself in the foreground, it haunts you like a cruel joke. Your mind is spinning, each thought crashing into the next, faster and faster, as if your reality itself is unraveling. You stagger back, your head spinning, and for a moment, you question everything. What is real? The room? The photograph? The child? It all blurs together like a bad dream, and you wonder if you've been asleep this whole time. But the voice, his voice returns, this time clearer, sharper, and it's not just in your head anymore. It's real. You're not supposed to be here. The words hit you like a slap, and you turn around, your breath coming faster, panic crawling up your throat. There, standing in the doorway, is the figure, the man, the one you thought was a ghost, a part of the twisted game you've been playing. But now, he's here, solid and real. His face is cold, impassive, and his eyes bore into you like he's already seen the end of this. You were never meant to find this place, he says, stepping forward, his voice low, the weight of it pressing down on you like a physical force. You were never supposed to understand. You open your mouth to speak, to demand answers, but your voice fails you. Your throat is dry, and your chest tightens. The space around you feels suffocating. You feel like you're drowning, but there's no water, no way to escape. The air is thick with the truth you're too terrified to face. This is your fault. The man continues, his voice growing colder, more venomous. You've always been the one to follow, to chase the shadows, never realizing that you are the shadow. His words cut through you, sharp as a blade, and they leave a trail of ice in their wake. You try to fight it, to tell yourself this is just another trick, another mind game, but it feels too real. He feels too real. The walls around you shudder, and for a moment you think you're losing your grip on reality again. But no, you're still here, still standing in the room, still face to face with the man who's been manipulating you from the start. You've always known, he says, almost pityingly. You've always known who you are, what you've done, but you've been running from it, running from yourself. The truth feels like a vise around your chest, tightening with every word he speaks. The guilt is overwhelming, crushing you from the inside out. No, you whisper, the words barely leaving your mouth. No, this can't be true. You didn't want to. He interrupts, his voice dripping with contempt. But you did. Every time you looked away, every time you ignored the signs, you sealed your own fate. You feel a tear slip down your cheek, but you don't wipe it away. You don't have the strength. You don't have the words to make this stop. I'm not the monster. You choke out, but even as you say it, you know it's a lie. You were never the hero. He replies coldly, but you've been playing the part for so long. You've convinced yourself you are. The room begins to shift again, the edges of reality warping, and you stumble backward, unable to keep up with the pace of it all. The walls close in, the shadows stretch toward you, and the voice, it's not just his anymore. It's all around you. The whispers of guilt, of memories you've buried, of choices you've made, all closing in like a storm. The photograph, the child, the voice, they've all been leading you here, to this moment. to face the truth, to face what you've done. You close your eyes, your breath ragged, your hands pressed to your face as if you could shield yourself from it all. But you can't escape. You can't hide from yourself. The man's voice returns, softer now, but no less haunting. The truth is already here, he says, his voice almost gentle, like he's telling you a secret. It's always been here. You've been carrying it with you all along. A cold laugh slips from his lips, and your mind flashes to the child who was never really the victim, who was never the one who needed saving. You were. Your eyes snap open. The man is gone. The room is still, but the weight of the truth is still there, pressing down on you. The whispers in your head grow louder, clearer. You've been here before. You've always been here. You've been running from your own reflection, from the darkness that you thought was someone else's. But it's you. It's always been you. You reach for the mirror again, the reflection staring back at you. But this time, you're not afraid. You're not trying to look away. You face yourself, and the truth finally sinks in. What if the only thing keeping you from the truth was your own fear? A witness. The silence that follows is deafening. The weight of the realization pressing on you like the thickest of fogs, heavy and suffocating. You stand in front of the mirror, facing yourself. The truth clearer now than it has ever been. Everything you've been running from, everything you thought was just a shadow, is part of you. You are the lie. You are the one who's been hiding from the truth. The child, the man in the photograph, the voice in your head, they were never the ones pulling the strings. You were, and you can feel the last remnants of the puzzle click into place, like the final pieces of a fractured, broken reflection. But something still gnaws at you, a whisper in the back of your mind that you can't quite grasp, something you haven't seen yet. You turn away from the mirror, your heart racing as the weight of everything presses down on you. The room feels colder now, more hollow, the shadows stretching farther into the corners like they're reaching for you. But even in the darkness, you see it, a figure standing just outside the door. Your breath catches in your throat as you recognize the silhouette. It's not the man, it's not the child, it's someone else, someone you've seen before. The figure steps into the light, and your heart skips a beat. It's your partner, the one who's been with you through this whole nightmare, the one you thought was just a guide, a friend, but now, standing in front of you, his expression is different. It's colder, harder, and you can see it now, the truth in his eyes. He's been watching you, waiting for you to find the answer, waiting for you to face the truth. But he's not who you thought he was. He's not on your side. He's been a part of this game all along. Why, you whisper, the word feeling like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Why didn't you tell me? He doesn't answer right away. He just watches you, the coldness in his gaze growing sharper, because you had to see it for yourself. You had to understand what you've been a part of. The silence stretches between you, suffocating, the tension so thick you can almost taste it. The truth, the reality of what's been happening, begins to hit you like a freight train, too fast and too heavy to avoid. You've been part of this from the beginning, you say, your voice shaking with disbelief. You knew. All this time, you knew the truth. Your partner nods, but it's not the answer you wanted. You want him to deny it. You want him to tell you it's not true. But deep down, you know it is. You know he's been playing a part in this, just like everyone else, just like you. I was never on your side, he says finally, his voice low, calm, as if he's finally shedding the mask he's been wearing. You were never meant to find the truth. You were meant to follow the path they set for you, and you did. You followed every step, but you're not going to like what happens next. You feel your pulse quicken, a cold rush of fear flooding your veins. What's next? What does he mean by that? Why are you doing this? You ask, your voice rising, but it's barely above a whisper. What do you want from me? Why make me find this? Why make me face all of this? He steps closer now, his eyes fixed on you with a detached intensity. You don't get it, do you? You're the one who's been in control the whole time. You've always been the one pulling the strings. You take a step back, your breath coming faster now, panic rising in your chest. No, it can't be. Not you. But I wasn't the one pulling them, you say, your voice trembling, more to yourself than to him. I wasn't the one who made all of this happen. Your partner's expression hardens, the slightest hint of something dark flashing in his eyes. You always have been. The realization slams into you like a tidal wave. You were never the hero. You were never the one trying to uncover the truth. You were the one who caused the destruction. You were the one who was never meant to find peace. The voice in your head, the one that's been haunting you, becomes louder. You knew. You always knew. The room begins to spin again, your vision blurring, and you reach for the wall to steady yourself. But the world is collapsing, the very air around you thickening as if reality itself is folding in on itself. Why can't I get out, you gasp, your hand pressed to your temple. Why does it feel like I'm trapped in my own mind? Your partner watches you, his eyes softening with something that almost looks like pity, but it's fleeting. Because you are, he says simply, his tone flat, detached. You always have been. The door slams shut behind you, the sound reverberating through the room. You spin around, but the door is gone. There's no way out. You're trapped, not by the walls of the house, not by the door, but by yourself, by your own mind. And the voice, the whisper in your head, finally speaks the truth. You've always been your own prison. The photograph reappears, the room begins to fade, the edges of your vision blurring as the weight of everything you've just discovered sinks in. The walls feel as though they're caving in around you, and yet the world outside seems to stretch endlessly. There's no door, no escape, just the relentless pull of something you don't understand, something you're still too terrified to face. You close your eyes, trying to steady your breathing, trying to regain control of your thoughts. But it's impossible. The truth you've been running from is suffocating you now, too heavy to carry. The voice, the one that's been guiding you, whispering in your ear, turns cruel, its tone mocking. You've always been trapped, always been a part of this, but never truly in control. And as you stand there, trembling, trying to make sense of it all, you hear it, the faintest sound of paper rustling behind you. You turn quickly, your pulse racing, but the space around you is still empty, except for the single photograph sitting on the table. The same photograph, the one with the figure in the background, the one you thought had faded into the depths of your mind. It's back. Your heart skips a beat as you step forward, your feet feeling heavier with each movement. The photograph is exactly as you remember it, except it isn't. This time, something's different. Something's changed. You reach for it with trembling hands, your fingers brushing against the edges of the paper. When you lift it, your eyes are drawn to the new detail, the figure in the background, now more clear than ever before. This time, you can see him clearly. The face is no longer just a shadow. It's his face, your partner's face. A rush of realization hits you with the force of a bullet. You've been running from the wrong person, the one you've been trusting, the one who's been at your side all this time, has been part of the web you've been tangled in from the start. But it's worse than that. You've known him all your life. He's always been there, in the shadows, guiding you toward this moment, toward this truth. Your breath catches in your throat as the pieces fall into place. The voice in your head, the child, the photograph, they were all part of a plan that led you here. And now that you've seen the truth, there's no going back. You did know. The voice whispers again, its presence heavy in the room, smothering you. You just didn't want to believe it. You drop the photograph, your hands shaking, your mind racing as the walls around you seem to close in even tighter. The shadows are creeping toward you, filling the space, thickening with each passing second. You want to scream, but no sound escapes your lips. Your partner's face, the man in the photograph, lingers in your mind. The truth is too much to bear. You've been led here, to this moment, to face the person you've been avoiding, the one you never truly saw. And now, there's nowhere to hide. The door, the one that you thought had disappeared, reappears in front of you, but it's not the same door anymore. It's warped, twisted, as if reality itself is bending to fit the lies you've been fed. The lock is there, but it's not locked. It never was. You've been standing in front of the door, waiting for permission to leave, waiting for a way out. But now you see it. There's no way out. Not yet. Not until you face what you've been running from. Do you see it now? The voice asks, its tone low and knowing. Do you see what you've been hiding from? The door seems to beckon you. It's not a way out. It's a way in. And you know, with a sickening certainty, that it's not just a door. It's the final piece of the puzzle. The one you've been chasing all along. But you're too afraid to open it. You know what's behind it. Even if you don't understand it fully, you turn to your partner, your eyes pleading for an answer, for something that will make sense of all this. But his face remains a mask. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. You turn away from him, back toward the door, your mind already made up. You can't leave without seeing it. You can't run from it anymore. You turn the handle, the door creaks open, and the shadows spill into the room, pulling you into the dark. But you can't fight it. You can't escape. What if the only way out is through the darkness? The final truth. The door opens, but you don't feel the expected rush of air, the cool breeze that would normally hit you as you step into the unknown. Instead, the darkness presses around you, like a thick blanket that swallows all light. You take a step forward, hesitant, your body heavy with the weight of the truth you're about to face. The room beyond is pitch black, the kind of darkness that feels alive, that presses against your skin, seeping into your bones. You feel the air shift as you move deeper into the space, and your fingers brush against something cold, smooth, metallic. You stop, your hand lingering on the object, and for a moment, you wonder if it's real or just another illusion. But the longer you stand there, the more you realize it's not just your mind playing tricks. The object in your hand is real. It's a key. Your breath hitches, and your heart starts to race. The key feels wrong in your palm, like it's meant for something you don't understand, something you're not supposed to touch. But you can't stop yourself. You've come this far, and there's no turning back. Not now. You turn the key over in your hand, feeling the cold edges, and then, with a steadying breath, you walk deeper into the darkness. The shadows stretch long and twisted around you, the walls of the room shifting and pulsating as if they're alive. You step forward, the key weighing heavily in your hand, and then you see it, a door, barely visible in the blackness. The door, standing tall and silent, like a gate to somewhere you've never been. You approach it slowly, the key still in your grasp, your mind reeling with 1,000 questions. This is it, the final moment. You know what's behind this door, and yet you don't. You can feel it in the pit of your stomach, a sense of dread, a gnawing feeling that no matter what you've uncovered, no matter what you've learned, the truth will be more than you can bear. You place the key in the lock, your fingers trembling as you turn it. The sound of the lock clicking is loud in the stillness, like a countdown to the inevitable. The door creaks open, and you step inside. It's not a room, not really. It's a space, an abyss, an expanse of endless blackness that seems to stretch forever. But in the center of the room, there's a figure. The figure is standing still, just out of reach, their face obscured by shadows. But you know who it is. The man from the photograph, the one who's been following you, guiding you, pulling you toward this moment. But now, you see him clearly, for the first time. It's not just the man you've been chasing, it's you. You knew, he says, his voice low and distant, like it's coming from all around you. But you didn't want to believe it. You don't speak. You can't. The weight of the revelation is too much. The truth too overwhelming. The figure in front of you isn't just a reflection of the past. It's you. It's always been you. You've been chasing yourself this whole time, running from the person you were always meant to become. The room is silent again, the emptiness pressing in, and for the first time, you feel the full weight of your own existence, the weight of everything you've done. You look at him, at yourself, and the realization crashes over you like a tidal wave. You were never supposed to find this place, the man whispers again, his voice softer now, almost pitying. But you did. And now, you can't leave, not without understanding. You take a step forward, but the ground beneath you shifts. The walls close in. The space feels like it's folding around you, wrapping you in its tight embrace. The shadows begin to swirl, to take shape, and you realize they are not shadows at all. They are faces, faces you know, faces of the people who've been a part of this story, a part of your life. They're all here, watching you, waiting for you to understand. And then you see it, the key, the one you've been holding all along, the one that's been unlocking everything in your life, in your past, leading you toward this moment. The key isn't just physical, it's the key to you, the man's face. Your face flickers in and out of the shadows, but his eyes are steady. They don't waver. You wanted answers, he says, his voice now carrying the weight of everything. But the truth isn't just something you find, it's something you become. A shudder runs through you, and for the first time, you understand. The truth was never about the child. It was never about the man in the photograph, or the game you thought you were playing. The truth was always about you, about facing yourself, about understanding that you were never the hero. You were never the one pulling the strings. You were the puppet, the pawn in your own game. And now, as the shadows press in around you, as the weight of your past crushes you, you know there's only one thing left to do. You can't escape it. You can't run. The only way out is through. What if the truth has always been this? The price of finding her. The air feels heavier now, as if the very atmosphere around you is thick with the weight of every choice you've ever made. The shadows, once just figments of your imagination, now stretch forward, closing in, swallowing the space between you and the truth. Every step you take feels like a step deeper into a labyrinth from which there is no exit. You've been searching for answers, but now you understand they were never meant for you to find. The figure in front of you, the man who has always been a part of this, who has always been you, stands motionless, the space between you both charged with the weight of everything you've ever feared. His eyes, so familiar, yet alien, seem to see right through you, as if he knows what you've been hiding all along. "You're here," he says, the words heavy with finality, "and you're not leaving until you understand." The silence that follows is unbearable, your pulse pounding in your ears, the weight of his words pressing on your chest. You feel like you're suffocating under the weight of it all. This isn't just about the case anymore. It's not about the child, or the voices, or the endless chase. It's about you, about everything you've done, and everything you've been too afraid to face. The figure doesn't move, his eyes locked on yours, but it's as though he's not just waiting for you to speak. He's waiting for you to understand. "You've been looking for a way out," he continues, his voice softer now, almost sad. "But there's no escape. Not for you." His words land like a blow, and you stagger back, your mind reeling. The truth, the one you've been avoiding for so long, is here now, and you can't escape it. You can't run. You are the truth. You take a step forward, your hand outstretched, but you stop yourself. What's the point? What's the point in trying to break free when you've always been bound to this, to the lies, to the darkness? You've been running for so long, but now you see the truth for what it is. You've been chasing shadows, looking for something that was never there. You were never meant to find the truth, the figure says, almost pityingly. But now that you have, there's no going back. The walls around you close in even tighter, suffocating you, and the shadows grow darker, their shapes now indistinct, like ghosts reaching for you. You feel your breath quicken, your pulse racing in your chest. But it's no use. The darkness is closing in, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You're trapped. But as the shadows creep toward you, you feel something else, something stronger than the fear. Acceptance. You were never meant to escape. You were meant to understand. And now, the understanding is here. You are not the hero of this story. You were never meant to be. You are part of the darkness, part of the puzzle that was never meant to be solved. And the price of finding her the truth you've been seeking is your own soul. You drop to your knees, your body too weak to stand, the weight of everything you've uncovered crashing over you. You wanted answers. You wanted to understand. But the truth has broken you. The cost of knowing is too high. And now, all you can do is face the emptiness. The figure steps forward, the shadows closing in around you. "It's over," he says, his voice the last thing you hear. You found what you were meant to find, and now you're just another piece of the game. You close your eyes, the darkness enveloping you, and as the shadows swallow you whole, you understand. The truth was never meant to be set free. It was meant to trap you, and now you are a part of it forever. End of script. Sleep well and watch your back.